we're Dr. Acula. Well, three parts. And I'm Bill. I play guitar.
And I'm Lou. I play guitar.
And I'm Rob, and I play bass.
And these are the worst things that's ever happened to us on tour. All right, so we're in San Diego, and we're going to be playing the Soma that night with the banner and the hotness. And over like the week before we got to San Diego, our singer had like a family emergency, and he just left the tour. Bill had a medical emergency. He just left the tour. We basically drove down to San Diego, just me, Rob, and our merch guy. And our drummer wasn't with us either for some reason. I don't remember why. No, he flew into San Diego and we picked him up at the San Diego airport. I don't remember why he wasn't there, but we drove straight to fucking Soma, basically from like Oklahoma or something. It was a ridiculous drive. We were driving like along the southern border with Mexico, and none of us showered for like 3 days. The radiator on the van or whatever is gonna like explode.
We had to keep the heat on.
Yeah, we were driving through the South in the dead of summer with the heat on and the windows open. Nobody showered because we haven't played any shows and we haven't stayed anywhere, and we have no money. So we drove across the southern border. We get stopped at a border checkpoint, and I'm driving and I'm so dehydrated and like I haven't felt like a human in like 3 days. And the border guard's like, "Where you guys headed?" And I'm like, "San Diego." And he's like, "What's your nationality?" And I took like 3 or 4 seconds to answer. I was like, "I'm American." And he's like, "All right, why don't you just pull up over here on the side real quick?" So we got taken out by border guards on the way to San Diego who didn't believe we were American, which like we were dusty. It was bad. It was bad. And we were like super tan, and it was bad. So we get to San Diego, we pick up our drummer, Eric, and we're going to play the Soma that night. And it's literally just me on guitar, Rob on bass, and Eric on drums. And our manager is like, "You cannot cancel this show. You have to finish the tour. You can't break up." And like, whatever it is, like, we're on the other side of the country and we're a 3-piece band right now. And yeah. So we're like, what the fuck are we going to do? There's like 500 kids here. They want to see a show, and we're going to have to play this show because we can't not play the show. Otherwise we won't have money. And we went on stage, the three of us, and gave the mic to the crowd. And Joey from the banner came out and did a couple of songs where he just screamed like dinosaur names over our songs. And it was a rough one. That was an embarrassing one. So we definitely owe the kids in San Diego another show ASAP for that one.
Yeah. It was embarrassing, but also really funny. Because we told the booker, like, we didn't, like, it wasn't a secret. We talked to the booker beforehand. We're like, "What do you want to do?" Like,
that's right. Yeah,
it's just the three of us.
The booking agent said we should play the show.
Yeah, we're like, "It's just 3 of us. We don't have a singer. What do you want?" He's like, "Yeah, go up there. Just do that." We're like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was funny because the guy who owned the venue came up to us after and was like laughing. He was like, "That took some balls to do that." He's like, if you told me beforehand, I probably wouldn't have paid you." He's like, "But you played the show, so here's your money." And it was, that was. I'll never forget. Like, we're standing there and everybody's packed in, and there's like 500 kids looking at us. And I look across the stage, and it's just Rob. And I look at Eric, and I'm like, "We are about to play." This band that we started 2 years ago with 7 people is now about to play these songs with 3 people. No singer.
It was also the most room we've ever had on stage.
Yeah, incredible amounts of room. It was like a fucking festival stage. It was ridiculous. It's like what I imagine playing Bonnaroo must be like with all that room. Like, it's ridiculous.
We did throw the mics pretty far into the crowd once we stopped the ring out because no one knew at first. We just like did the standard ring out, like hype everyone up, and then we stopped and we told them the mics were theirs and we just threw them into the crowd.
That was wild. I'll never forget that. You said that. You were like, yeah. So our singer's in New York. So you guys are going to have to sing for us. Like we did the ring out and we were going to play a fucking set. And then suddenly, nope, we don't have a singer. Yeah.
You get some of it.
Yeah. So that's the Soma story. On our first tour we ever went on.
Yes.
We were going down the coast in a van that we we bought from a friend of ours who had already used the shit out of it. Down the East Coast. So it was close to home. We're in South Carolina, and Bill, you should probably tell the story about how your dad's car ate shit before that, because there's preface to this.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think it was. Well, this was before even us. Or was it with us, or was it? I don't remember. But my dad was driving me and one of my brothers and a friend of mine to a show we were playing one time. And we were driving in like a 96 Dodge Neon. And my brother was in the front. My dad and me and my friend are like shoved in the back of this tiny car with a bass amp. And we're going down Long Island Expressway, mind your own business. When the car by itself, the horn just starts like going off and slowly going deeper in pitch. And my dad starts losing control of the brakes. And like it's eventually slowed down, thank God. And we got into the shoulder and we got, we started smelling something, like it was like smoking, started smelling something burning. My dad's like, get the hell out. we get the bass amp out and run as far away from the car as possible and just watch it burn on the expressway and melt into the pavement, and the frame melted into the pavement, and it didn't blow up, but it did like pop a few times, but yeah, that's I guess that's the preface of that situation there.
So fast forward, like whatever it was, like a year maybe, and this is still fresh in Bill's mind. And now we're going down this highway.
95.
We're going down I-95 south. We had left North Carolina. We had played a show in North Carolina the night before, and we were going to a show in Melbourne, Florida. And the van's already making like fucked up noises. It's been making fucked up noises this whole time. This thing is just like waiting to die. Like it was probably like an 80-something van. It was old.
It should not have been hauling a trailer, let alone all of us.
Should not have had a trailer. Yeah. So we're hauling, and this thing all of a sudden starts making like there's like an oily smell coming from the van, and I'm like, there's no cars around us. It's night, and I'm like, all right, so. That's not fumes, like what is that? It's just an oily smell. So I pointed out to Mike, our drummer, who was like more of like the most car guy out of all of us, and he smells it. He's like, oh yeah, that's the catalytic converter. And like I don't even think he finished saying converter before the entire van filled with smoke. Like it just filled with smoke through the vents, coming through the windows, full of smoke. And Bill's in my ear. He's screaming. He's like, this is the same shit that happened to my dad's car. This is the same shit. And I'm like, oh my. So the van hasn't even stopped. Whoever's driving is attempting to pull over. The van hasn't stopped. I got the side door open. Bill's standing in front of me. He's like, this is the same shit. I'm like, Bill, jump. We're going to fucking die. So he didn't jump. And the van finally stops. We all pour out of the van. And it's just smoking like crazy. All of a sudden, there's flashing lights. There happened to just be a cop sitting right there as we pulled over, like probably looking like a fucking comet. Like, and
well, there was oil all over the trailer.
Oh, there was oil. There was all fluids. It was transmission fluid.
Covered.
This thing fucking died all over the trailer. Like, I remember opening the hood and looking at the coolant boiling in the tank. You know, like, oh, that's not good. So, yeah. So the van completely ate shit. So the cops take us to this motel, and we're in the town of Yamasee, South Carolina. And this hotel is like a crack den.
I don't know if we'd call it a hotel.
It was a motel. I'm sorry. It was called the Palmetto Lodge, actually.
Yeah, the Palmetto. R.I.P. No longer there.
Yeah, RIP. Isn't there anymore. Can't believe it. Didn't make it.
Weird. Such a nice establishment.
So we check into this hotel, and a couple of us go, I don't know, somebody went out walking for something. I don't remember.
For like a minute.
For. Yeah.
Well, the cops are still there. And we were like asking them what was around because we hadn't eaten dinner or something. Like people were hungry.
Yeah.
And one of the cops told us that we were not welcome on the side of town that we needed to go to get food on.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
There was some sort of grave warning issued by the cops. And yeah. So we stayed in that room the entire night. I feel like we got Waffle House from somewhere. Like it either got delivered or somehow.
This is how we met.
Who's that? Oh, Awesome Buffalo Bill?
This is how we met Buffalo Bill.
I don't remember that part. You tell that part.
So cop tells us that we're not allowed to go anywhere in town because we're not welcome. So then we there's 7 of us in one hotel in the room.
Yeah.
I guess there's 7.
Yeah.
And at the time, most of us smoked. So like we're in and out of the room smoking or whatever. And somebody, I don't know who, struck up a conversation with this Southern gentleman that was right out of a horror movie, like looked like a serial killer, but started talking. And the gentleman was nice enough to offer to drive a few of us to Waffle House, get some food, and bring it back for the rest of us so that we can like not have as shitty of a night all in this one motel room together. I forget who went. I think Rob and Mike, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they drew the short straw. Maybe Pete. Was Pete there?
Pete might have been there. I don't know who was playing samples for that little run.
Yeah. But so yeah, this gentleman, he went and got us Waffle House and brought it back, and we all ate Waffle House and watched the documentary on Jonestown.
Oh yeah, Jonestown. Yep.
And
Dark Knight.
And while we were eating, the room next to us, we found out it was like a crack den. Like people were coming in, just doing crack and leaving. We're like, okay, that's cool. But you're right next door. That's fun. And then we go to sleep. I don't think there was anything else crazy that night. And then we woke up, and I think the cops were there again, or the front desk told us that the room across from us got held up at gunpoint. Not the room directly next to us that was doing the crack. Another room got held up at gunpoint and robbed.
Like,
oh, okay, we're glad that we weren't that room. Not that we had much to give anyone, but. Yeah. So at this point, we were just like, we're fucked. We have a trailer with no van to put it on, and we have no money, and we're supposed to be in Melbourne in like 8 hours to play this show. Along comes our friend who we dubbed Buffalo Bill, that brought us Waffle House, with a solution where he would drive us from Yamasee, South Carolina to Melbourne, Florida for no money so we can go and play the show. And Buffalo Bill had an SUV that could fit 5 comfortably.
Yeah, he had a Jimmy. He had a fucking Jimmy.
Yes.
He had a fucking Jimmy. Yep.
Yeah, 4, I guess, went in the Jimmy, or 5 maybe we crammed. And then I think Lou and I took the first shift in the trailer. We were driving down in the trailer, just drinking 40s.
Yeah,
because we figured we were going to die, so we weren't going to make it to the show. Might as well have a drink before we just crash and burn.
Right, exactly. And I felt like dying first, because chances are I would die first in the trailer. So exactly. I didn't want to die with like 7 other people crammed on top of me in a Jimmy. I'd catch a buzz and die in the trailer, getting crushed by an amp or something. I don't know. It's coming. It's totally dark, and then it's over.
Mm-mm.
And it just ends.
That was the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Well, it's close to it. It's up there.